So we've got breaking news coming into us from Capitol Hill just within the last maybe 2 minutes or so, not even. And that is new subpoenas now released from the Select Committee investigating the insurrection on January 6th. And these subpoenas are for information from names that you probably know. Names like Bill Stepien. Remember him? He's the former campaign manager for the Donald Trump campaign. Names like Jason Miller, longtime senior advisor to former President Donald Trump. He has now been subpoenaed by this Select Committee. John Eastman, who's been in the news quite a bit over the last month or so, reportedly after having created essentially the blueprint that he presented to then Vice President Pence and others on how exactly the White House at the time could attempt to try to subvert the legitimate election results. Michael Flynn is among these names, too. Former national security advisor, current conspiracy theory advocate who was reportedly in a meeting in December of 2020 in which participants talked about, according to the January 6th Select Committee, talking about seizing voting machines, invoking certain national security emergency powers, etc. I want to bring in NBC's Leanne Caldwell, who is on Capitol Hill. Leanne, we had known, right, because Chairman Benny Thompson had talked about they had subpoenas ready to go. We didn't know against who. We didn't know what they were looking for. Now we have a better sense. I just named four of the people, I think of the six, right, that they've issued these subpoenas against. Talk us through the rest of these names and the significance of this right now.
Yeah, Hallie, we did know that there were subpoenas signed as recently as last week, but they hadn't sent them out yet. Benny Thompson had confirmed that the subpoenas were ready to go, but now they have been sent out. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes because we just got this just in the past few minutes. And we knew that John Eastman was going to be among them. A source had confirmed to NBC News that they had planned John Eastman to be subpoenaed very soon. I remember John Eastman is the one who wrote the memo outlining how Vice President Mike Pence could overturn the election on January 6th when it was just a simple electoral college count of the Congress. Of course, that is not how the Constitution works, and he was unable to do it. But John Eastman is a conservative lawyer who is close with the president and outlined an entire plan for Mike Pence to do it. We know that Mike Pence didn't go ahead and do it. In addition, there's Angela Mccallum. She's the executive assistant to the former president. She reportedly participated in efforts to spread false information about alleged voter fraud in the election and to encourage state legislators to alter the outcome of the election as well. The other person who you did not mention was Bernard Carrick. He is someone who participated in a meeting at the Willard Hotel, which we now know was the command center for all of this attempts to overturn the election at the Willard Hotel, which is right across the street from the White House in Washington. And he paid for rooms and suites in the hotel, and he played an instrumental role working with Rudy Giuliani at the time. And so in the scheme of things, we know that the January 6th Select Committee has been working, interviewing more than 150 people already, not just in Washington, but around the country as well. We know that they are moving very swiftly in their investigation. They interviewed last week former Trump Department of Justice Administration officials who, Jeffrey Clark, who was not cooperative, the committee says. But this latest batch of subpoenas is really significant. These are people who were extremely close with the former president and perhaps have a lot to say. What we don't know is if they are going to respond to these subpoenas and cooperate. And as these subpoenas have just gone out, that is definitely something the next thing we'll be watching, Hallie.